What's up guys, welcome to a new Patreon Q&A video. Today I'm answering all the top tier questions from the people who support the channel via the Patreon. If you want to support the channel as well while receiving various other benefits, check it out, linked in the description. And I also decided this week to include some people from the, community tab, so I'm answering 10 questions from my post I put up a few days ago as well. So yep, let's go. Justice Boy against the speed stars in the Kengan verse, such as Carlos, Ray, Galang, or even Gozo. So we know over the 2-year time skip from Ashura to Omega that Justice Boy had a fight with Gozo where he pretty much absolutely destroyed him and almost killed him during that fight. So it's very clear that, Justice Boy is leagues above the likes of Gozo. Whether his, supposed fastest reaction speed will translate to him being able to keep up with the likes of Carlos, Ray, and Galang, I'm pretty unsure. But one thing to take note is Galang does have his foresight in combination with his speed to keep up with the likes of Carlos in their fight. Justice Boy may have his fastest reaction time in the verse, while Galang has his fastest jabs in the verse. So which one would be faster? I'm not too sure, but a combination of all the speed attributes such as movement, attacking, everything like that, I will give Galang the overall speed advantage, and that translates directly to Carlos, who will also have the speed advantage. When it comes to base Ray and Ashura, I wouldn't be surprised if Justice Boy will be able to nullify pretty much everything he could really do, but if we're considering Ant Ray, Justice Boy won't be able to perceive him whatsoever and just get absolutely destroyed. But yeah, that's some quick thoughts on Justice Boy against some other, speedsters in the verse. Whose attack do you think is faster? Probably the Hanma blood jabs. Probably faster than the likes of you from the boxer, considering what I said in my Kengan Ashura vs you video. So yeah, definitely on the Bucky side for that one. Who has the techniques that are similar to the Nico style? So if you don't remember, the Nico style is pretty much a combination of various other martial arts. The main one being the Gaia style, which was improved upon in the Nico style, with it also being confirmed it took some stuff from the K1 style, the style Kuroki uses, among many other ones. We don't really know the other styles that it pretty much stole stuff from, but the K1 style and the Gaia style are pretty much the main two. Whose grip strength is better, Hanayama or Sumo Dude who faced Baki? So if you're talking about the main Sumo Dude, probably him over Hanayama, but Hanayama definitely over the other Sumo Dude Baki faced in the tournament. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's very close, but yeah, that's who I'm going for now. In Record of Ragnarok, if Santa Claus fought, who would you want to see him against? Well, for saying he's going to fight a god, probably Odin to see the glorious battle of the beards, to see which beard is truly greater. That is my number one choice if we got to see something like that, which would be pretty hype if I'm being honest. Do I think Ohma has learned a new technique? This is similar to a question I picked up from the community tab, so I'll answer pretty much both at the same time here. The community tab question is it possible that Ryan now knows a few Nico style techniques after sparring for an entire year with Ohma? And is it possible Ohma now knows a few Kure techniques? I think it's more likely that Ryan knows some Nico style techniques, because the Nico style already has so much. I don't think he really needs, Kure techniques on top of that. Also considering many of the Kure techniques we have seen seem to be pretty basic if I'm being honest, apart from Lion Bite and of course removal. I doubt he's going to pull out removal, but that would be some insane shit. Pulls out both removal and advance at the same time. Maybe someone like Edward Wu could use something like that, but yeah, I don't think so. But we have actually seen Ohma show that he's learned something from the Kure clan, and that's the ability to read lips, so maybe he's learned some Kure techniques as well. But at that point, I think Ohma will have too many techniques. The Nico style already has so much. Adding even more OP techniques from the Kure clan will just be overboard, way too overboard if I'm being honest. Maybe some Kure techniques to enhance the Nico style techniques he already has, rather than something completely new. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Let me know down in the comments what you think about that whole thing. Which character from Fist of the Seeker would you want to see in Kengan? Apart from the obvious choice being Katsuya, most likely Samato. If you don't know who Samato is, he's pretty much a relative of the Kure clan who actually is a Mortai user as well, with him having a very unique removal which seems to be similar to the regular removal the Kure and Wu clans use, but somewhat different. Not different in the sense that it's like Alan Wu's removal, it's just some of its own unique thing, and of course his personality is somewhat similar to Kure Ryan, and we may actually see him during the war between the Wu and Kure clan, which would be pretty cool. But yeah, a very cool looking character and one of the most badass characters in all of Fist Seeker in my opinion. I'd love to see him have some conversations with some, you know, Kure clan or other Kengan fighters, or see him fight in Kengan at some point. Fat boy sumo dude from Bucky versus Julius from Kengan. Well, based on what Sukune recently did to Oliver, I'm probably going to have to give it to him currently. And our dude is going to fight Yujiro soon, so maybe he will get absolutely destroyed by Yujiro, or he will maybe showcase that he's a worthy top tier fighter in Bucky. But I'm probably leaning more on the side of him going to get destroyed by Yujiro like everyone else. How strong would Waka be if you used a kicking based fighting style instead of karate? I mean something like taekwondo for example, because if you can take out Julius with 1 or 2 kicks, imagine what he'll do to a more average fighter. So my issue with that, his raw power, regardless of, you know, his kicks being 3 times stronger than his regular punches, he can already destroy average fighters with single punches. He doesn't really need the kicks, and any kick he can currently use now probably one-shots most people if it hits directly like he did on Julius, or probably everyone in the verse. Wakatsuki direct kicks like he did against Julius will one-shot everyone in the verse, so I don't think he really needs to focus more on those kicks, considering that his karate does already involve kicks, and when he does throw those kicks, it's pretty much a rip unless you completely block it or dodge it. It's probably better to dodge those. So if he did improve or focus more on his kicking with a different martial art or fighting style as a whole, I don't think it will improve his overall fighting ability by very much. He's already pretty much close to the top of the verse, and I don't think he can really do anything at this point which will make him the strongest in the verse or singled out. He's definitely just going to stay around the top, not an individual the strongest. I don't think kicking alone will give him that title. Ryan is only 23 and is already Fang level. What will happen when he's way older and more mature? You're right, he's only 23. He's pretty much one of the top characters in the verse and one of the youngest characters in the verse. He's pretty much a genetic freak of the Kure clan, the pinnacle currently of the Kure clan. Probably the best genetics in the verse if you don't include someone like Waka, who's literally a mutant. But yeah, as he gets more experience and if he does become more mature, maybe after the Wu vs Kure war with maybe Irio and some other characters dying, he may very well become the strongest character in the whole verse. I wouldn't be surprised if that does happen, if Kengan does get like a massive time skip at some point. But yeah, he is absolutely beastly. Which fighters at the peak levels in the tournament could beat round 2 Kano or give him as hard as a fight as Gaolang? So Wakatsuki at his peak, so probably round 1, could probably beat round 2 Kano as he developed the blast core to defeat round 2 Kano. I wouldn't be surprised if Julius could win, but that's probably more on the side of Kano, but will be definitely super hard. Later rounds, Ohma could probably defeat round 2 Kano. Maybe Hatsumi Sen, if he was to fight round 2 Kano like he was prepped in round 3, he could maybe do it, but that's a little bit more iffy considering Kano's evolution. But yeah, a lot of fighters, or quite a few I think, could give Kano in round 2 as tough as a fight as Gaolang did, if not actually defeat him. A what if battle of full health, full mastery Ohma versus full health Krokugensai. I think this would be a lot closer than what we got in Ashura of the almost dying Ohma. We're gonna have to probably wait till Ohma's a mega fight to get a better understanding of this. But yeah, I do think Ohma will be able to push Kroki to the same level of difficulty that Kano did in Ashura, if not even more, so much so that Kroki wins like 51% and Ohma wins like 49%, something crazy like that. Potentially even 50-50 considering all the amps to his Demon's Bane he will have while being in full health. But yeah, that is probably an either way fight, but cannot wait to see what Ohma's capable of now in Omega. Julius and Waka versus Gaolang and Hatsumi, who wins? In Ashura, I'm probably going to say Julius and Waka will be way too hard to take out both of them in a 2-on-2 fight. How would the Annihilation Trauma bracket look if Julius didn't face Waka? It would pretty much have Waka and Julius, if they're in the same like range of bracket, facing one another again, but it could be a completely different thing where Julius makes it to near the end, Waka makes it to the end, and destroys a lot of people. For example, Ray won't get very far. Maybe Ohma will lose in the earlier rounds if he faced one of them. A lot of crazy shit could have happened if, you know, Julius didn't get taken out by Waka in the second round. But it really depends where Julius or Waka would be placed instead of their position they got in Ashura. So yeah, I'll probably go in more detail in a future video about the hardest bracket in the Annihilation Tournament. What fighter do you think would have gotten high in the tournament if it wasn't for his matchup? I'm definitely going to say Kure. He pretty much faced the person in the whole tournament who had the most knowledge about his fighting style and was best suited to defeat him. If he faced a large variety of other people, he could have made it very high, and a lot of people would actually respect Kure more considering what he most likely would have done to that tournament. Sen hard counters Waka, but everyone still ranks Waka higher. What other hard counters are in Kengan? To name a few, we have Sword Pang against Ray, where Ray was able to overcome his hard counter. We also got this implied about Hatsumi and Bando, with Hatsumi abusing the knowledge he got of Bando to win that fight. But he did state at various points that Bando was a direct counter to someone like Hatsumi, or he's the hardest person for him to fight in the whole tournament. And a recent example that's similar to the Waka and Sen situation is in Kengan Mega of Jaime and Drota, where Jaime was a counter to Drota due to Purgatory's rule set and Drota's fighting style, even though everyone pretty much ranks Drota way higher than Jaime on like a tier list like that. And the last question for today's video, how would Macho do in a Kengan match? If you don't know, he's the super buff muscly guy from How Heavy Are the Dumbbells You Lift, another series by the creator of Kengan. We do have a chapter that has, like, you know, Gowlang actually thinking he's a Kengan fighter and that he could be quite deadly. So I wouldn't be surprised if he becomes like a top level fighter due to his muscles alone, similar to like Julius or something crazy like that. So yeah, he could potentially be one of the strongest in the verse, but I don't really know too much about dumbbells if I'm being honest. But yeah, that's pretty much everything for today's Patreon Q&A video. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to subscribe. Again, shout out to the amazing people who support the channel via the Patreon. If you want to as well, check out the description. But yep, that's it guys. Peace.